So the Parsha of Yitro is the Parsha of the giving of the Torah. And this figure of Yitro, our protagonist, is certainly a strange contrast to the scene of the giving of the Torah. At Sinai, the thunder, the lightning, and this contrast between the more quotidian figure of Yitro and the cataclysmic nature of the giving of the Torah is going to set up a dichotomy, which will be the focus of today's discussion. Let's go to the Parsha itself now. Last week we had the final aspects of the Exodus, the splitting of the Red Sea. Following that, there was the war with Amalek. On the heels of that, we begin this week's Parsha. It says, Vayishma Yitro. He heard that all that God had done for Moses, for Israel. Rashi comments, what had he heard? Based upon the Midrash. Well, he heard about the two most significant events that took place in last week's Parsha, which were the splitting of the Red Sea and the war with Amalek, the first nation that dared provoke militarily this miraculous nation which all had feared. He brings the wife of Moshe, who did not leave Midian during the time of the plagues. He brings their two sons, Gershon and Eliezer, and they were united. And Yitro stays there. The Torah is given. As we know the further events, there is the making of the golden calf. Moses prays for mercy and amnesty for the Jewish people. There's 3 40-day periods, and finally they are forgiven, and this forgiveness is sealed on the very day of Yom Kippur, 120 days later. At that time, Moshe descends from the mountain with the second tablets, and now the law has been definitively given, and the leader of the people, Moshe Rabbeinu, is with them now, not in the mountain, but with the people down below. And it is in this scene that Yitro finds them, and Moshe is teaching people and settling judgments from morning until evening. And Yitro is not happy with this situation. He says to him, the thing you are doing is not good. You will surely wear yourself out, both you and these people who are with you. Their matter is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. Now listen to me. I will advise you, and may the Lord be with you. You represent the people before God, and you shall bring the matters to God. And you shall admonish them, teach them concerning the statutes and teachings, and you shall make known to them the way they shall go, and the deeds they shall do. But you shall choose out of the entire nation men of substance, God-fearers, men of truth, who hate monetary gain. And you shall appoint over them leaders over thousands, over hundreds, over 50s, and leaders over 10s. And they shall judge the people at all times. And it shall be that any major matter they shall bring to you, and they themselves shall judge every minor matter, thereby making it easier for you, and they shall bear the burden with you. If you do this thing and the Lord commands you, you'll be able to survive, and also the people will come upon their place in peace. Moshe accepts this advice, and indeed this incredible system of delegation is created, in which people, as a first resort, will go to their leader of 10. If it is too difficult for him, they will go to the leader of 100, and so on. Moshe will be truly reserved, like a Supreme Court, for the most difficult matters. Not like it had been thus far, that he was sitting all day, teaching, explaining, and judging. Of course, the aspect of judging is the bringing of the Torah into everyday life. It's not something which is theoretical. Now it's something that when people have disputes, when people have real questions in real life, they need to know what to do now. How do we apply the Torah to their life? And the idea of Moshe had been that he's going to teach people these things. And as we see from the advice of Yitro, that thus far his idea was he will do it unassisted. And the question is, couldn't Moshe have thought of this idea? Would he have not also thought that his time can be better used by empowering others to deal with more minor matters? What is the key to Moshe's desire to taking this task upon himself? Now, the commentators ask this question, the Sisekain on the Torah especially, and the kind of folk answer always given is that it says a guest for a while, sees for a mile. Sometimes you need someone from the outside. But clearly, in the case of Moshe, the giver of the Torah, the wisest of men, this is not a feasible answer. He clearly would have thought of this himself, and so we are compelled to conclude that he had a specific reason why he thought that this was the way to teach Torah and to judge the people.